All right, I'm going to keep it on this screen since my toolbar is up on here. I don't know if that happened, can you all see the toolbar on top of the slides? Where it gives the Google, okay, because that's the read and write toolbar. So I'm kind of hoping that stays there. But you will see on this front page and throughout, I have other screenshots of these toolbars. I have them pictures if you'd like to have your own little document to share and print and have those to hand out to the kids. I also have some prepped already if you'd like those that are laminated, because the big thing when we're going over this, I don't know if we have like some lacrosse or Ellis or Victoria, but with everybody having different technology, sometimes your toolbars may look different depending what type of platform or technology you have. So if you have iPad, Chromebooks, MacBooks even today that I had some experience with. So it may look a little different on your toolbars, but I'll try to cover the majority of this. Your toolbar looks very similar throughout most of them. So I like to go over the background on this before I get into the tools, and I won't cover this a ton in depth, but I do feel it's valuable to go over how this can be used for all students. And that's the purpose that, Kyle purchased this for us for, was to eventually have this available to all students in our cooperative. So not just our special education students or students we serve, but all students. And so that, because part of the barrier that happens sometimes is some of our kids on IEPs don't want to use the tools because they look different. So that's a barrier. But then there's kids we could be missing who could benefit from these tools. And so this is part of the UDL guidelines. And when we are looking at providing accommodations and tools, the main area that you look at is the representation area of the brain, how we're helping engage that. You want all those areas of the brain engaged to become, to be able to be an expert learner, to be able to maximize your learning for any environment, any subject. And so the area that we're kind of helping aid the most is the representation area, helping with perception, language and symbols, and then comprehension. So the toolbar gives us lots of stuff for that. And I would even say it helps with action and expression because it helps with being able to do your speech to text if you're doing writing, so, or even doing word prediction with it. So I like to share this document, and you'll get these slides afterwards. I did add a few things, change a few things this afternoon, so I'll send them to Kyle after. The 3 tiers of support, I like to also cover. This kind of gives us that, again, that basic view of all kids could benefit from this. We put this tool out there, and I guarantee you there's going to be kids who don't even need this, would benefit from it, or will use it on any given day. And so just having it available for all kids is good practice, and it provides an extra tool for them. The tier 2 kids, this is where, you might have a kid who, gosh, he's struggling. I don't think he needs IEP support or special education support, but he could benefit from his reading levels a little lower than his classmates. He can't keep pace. Giving him this tool could help him be able to keep pace, stay up with keep pace with his classmates. And then when we look at tier 3, this is where, when we, as special education providers, we want to make sure we're documenting in the IEP what they're using. Maybe not necessarily saying they're using read and write, but say they're using digital text, speech to text, some of those things that they're using that they need, it's not just a benefit, but they actually need it to be able to keep up with their peers or to access the curriculum where they need to. So I just like to share those. Then this tool here, or this slide here, kind of covers at why we want to look at reading accommodations and providing multiple means of representation / writing. But this just kind of gives you, again, more things that tell you. I'm going to try to show what tools we can. I'll explain them if nothing else. So some of these I'm going to cover fast. But this information, because you could look at and refer back to, but I wanted it in the slides for that purpose so that you could see it has vocabulary supports, it has simplifying text supports, it has additional study support things that you can use, and then even kids with visual visual support needs. And then of course, the common things that we know, that listening to be able to comprehend, so listening to a digital reader. So all of these things are available in one nice little toolbar. One thing to remember, I hear this, sometimes, yes, things are available on our devices already, but this truly does give you one toolbar to where it's at, so that the access to it is just so nice to be able to have it on one toolbar. It does look different from platform to platform sometimes, and there are less tools available on the iPad, but they're working on getting more. And then the benefit from students, I have another Google Doc that explains each tool actually very explicitly. So it'll each of these tools up here, like prediction, dictionary, picture dictionary. I have a document I'll send, have Kyle send out that says benefits and implications of using this. It gives you a justification in why that tool would be beneficial to that student, or why that could be a beneficial tool for the student. So that makes it nice to be able to share with parents, the student themselves, and other team members. So I will have that available for you. And so this says Chrome toolbar. I borrowed these slides from one of my colleagues, actually. So some of these are borrowed, and that's why they say Infinitec at the bottom. I have a lot of my colleagues that use Google, so that's where this comes from. But we have a lot of platforms throughout our cooperative, and this same toolbar can be used with Microsoft Office. And that's where, like Hayes High students would use that. They would authenticate it. We'd want to authenticate it with Microsoft Office, which is why I'm glad we kind of did a slow rollout, because there is a lot of different platforms to learn, but it can also be used on Google Chrome too. So there's, I have mine authenticated through Google Chrome. So that's why I'm showing you that today, but it can be used with Microsoft Word and the Office tools as well. But it kind of shows you the different things you can use it as. Some kids don't like the reader that Bookshare gives. This gives that option to have that, pull up your toolbar and change the voice, change the reader, PDFs. And then, like I said, iPad does look different. It has less features. They're working on pushing it out, but I found out today that part of that reason is Apple is they're pretty strict with things. So they're trying to overcome some of those issues with Apple. Okay, so on these slides, this is the part where I wanted to include these, and I told you I won't go in depth. We won't go through the slides in depth, but this has a video, or a YouTube video link. If you see a hyperlink on there underneath the particular tools, it's going to give you a text help put these together, where it has a little link of how to use that tool. So it's kind of nice. It's going to go throughout all of them. I'll kind of skim through some of these. It shows like that, the play, pause, stop. I'll go back through the tools and explain, but it's going to give you the picture dictionary, and that it doesn't have the hyperlink, but that one's pretty simple to use. Screen masking, also pretty simple, but in simplified text. So it's going to give you these links for majority of these tools. So that's also nice, but I can do a quick just showing the tools video as well after we have this today. Practice read aloud. And then I did want to show the difference. So if you look at that toolbar up here, and then you look at this one, when you go on to Safari, or you're just browsing the web, whatever browser you have on the iPad, this is what the toolbar looks like. So you could see it's similar, but it doesn't have as many features. And so that's something important to note, but it's there. The most important feature to me when we want to expose kids is being able to give them that, the hover speech here in these play buttons, because this is going to help with comprehension and be able to allow them access to text that probably is above their reading level for a lot of the kids we serve. I have very specific instructions how to open that in these slides on down. So don't feel left out, iPad people, because there is instructions for how to use that. And then at the very last slide, there'll be video links of how to get that loaded, which right now, if you are from a USC 49 school, you cannot get it from, if you do not have it from self-service already, that's temporarily not working. But if you're not, you can get it from, I think it's called Student in Victoria. Steve had it, and Ellis has it pushed out to everybody. So, but I give little overviews on how to use those different tools in these videos. So those will also be linked in this slide.
Andrea,
yes.
Can you make me host? I'll manage there's a couple people in the waiting room. I can manage that for you.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, everything's good. You make me host, I can keep an eye on that.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Nope. Sorry. Just trying to, it's not giving me, let me go to my options and.
Is it on the, oh, yeah, we're going.
Yeah, it's on my other, but it's not showing up. How to make him host, you know?
If you right click on me, you might be able to.
Click on him.
Like in this list.
Yep, that's it. And more. Okay, there we go. I was looking at the bottom. Make host. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to skim back up here just to have us on these slides, kind of where we're at. But these tools are, what is nice about these tools. Let me see if I have this available. Oh, it's letting me click. Okay. Yay. Okay, Hannah, do you mind if I open up a document on your computer? So you have it, Hannah. So yes. Okay, so I'm actually just going to go to a web browser because I'm going to go on my slides. Let's do that. Let's just say I was going to go in and edit a slide, okay? Or I'm just going to go to a bottom slide, go down here, and I'm going to turn this off real quick and move my toolbar around so I can take this. No, it's not letting me move it. Let me see here. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to move this so I can add a slide. A new slide. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to go onto a new slide to show you these tools. The ones that you could use within Google Docs, slides, but then also remember all your Microsoft tools can be used with this. iPad people, again, this, it's different, but you do still have some of these tools available, but those little videos are very helpful for that. But all teachers, special education teachers, should have had this pushed out. So if you have this on your laptop and you're not sure what to do with it, give me if you feel weary about logging in yourself, authenticating it yourself, let me know. I just sat down with Jolene Winholz today and I helped her so I can try to help with that since I've helped another teacher now through Microsoft, because that's how you want to authenticate it. But you can, so it can be used across platforms. This prediction tool is really nice for those students who you might, maybe it's not going to let me use it on here. Nope, it's not showing. It is showing up over there in Google Docs or Microsoft. Sometimes it shows up as you're typing, but you can see how the words are changing over there. And it's helping come up with a word that as I'm typing. This is a nice feature for students who maybe just need that spelling, grammar pieces as they're typing, and something to consider as a feature to use for them. Another thing that helps their writing. These features, also the dictionary and picture dictionary, are available on when you're browsing the internet for all platforms, or when you're working on a document themselves. So if I were to highlight a word and I want to hit the dictionary, it's going to pop up with that word and give a diction, and then I can hit it or tap on play and have it read to me. So a very nice feature for students who might need to, like, they're typing something, you help them edit it and you're like, hey, let's see, does this make sense? Let's listen to what that word means. So nice feature. And then for some people have talked about this being for, and I see this as a possibility for some of our ELL kids, having a picture dictionary for that. So since I have this word highlighted, I'm going to show you a couple other things that skip over. I'm going to go down over to translate. So this, I got really excited about this, and so did a couple others. It only translates one word at a time, not a document. So, but again, this could be for ELL students who need a vocab word translated, tons of languages. So how you just go into the settings and options, and you would go into down here where it says Spanish. You would, there's a lot of languages on here. I can't remember the number they told me, but you can scroll through and change that. So a nice feature. This is also where if you did, you can go into those options and look at playing around with turning features on and off. And then I am also working on, you can, I think it's called the lockout feature for tests. So you can pick features that you want locked out before a test is started. Let's see, I'm going to see what else I can cover here in this type of document. Okay, so let's go on, and I'm going to open up I had this opened up already for her, but a lot of times I demonstrate how I also, students can speak into their, can speak that into there, but I always like to use an animal to do this demonstration. So I'm going to open up her Chrome or her read and write. So if it wasn't opened, the puzzle piece at the top is how you open that. When you're using Microsoft Office, though, it's on your desktop as a button, and you have to click that first, and then you're able to access that toolbar. But if we were here, going to be able to look up information about, they're doing research over elephants. The play, pause, stop feature. I like to say, if you don't want the student to have the whole thing read, because if you hit play, it's going to start playing. It's going to play every word, like even hop along all of these: animal, overview, news. It's going to hop through each of those. So if you want it to be able to where the student can hop around and check what, and just listen to what they want to listen to, hover speech is what I suggest. They just hover their cursor, don't have to click. Okay, you saw the one thing that you will see on there is how it highlights the whole sentence and then the word. That can also be changed, the coloring of that. So for if you have students with visual deficits that might need different colors, or it can be a preference thing for students. You can change the speed. Different things can be done all within these three little dots. That can change all of that. So, and one thing to note, don't click on the, if you're using hover speech, just hover, just like it says, because if you click, students get frustrated when they do that, because if they click, it just keeps opening more windows. So that's one tip I like to give, but I like to use hover speech rather than the play, unless I open up a document that I really wanted to read the whole thing for me. Screenshot reader, I won't try to find something for the sake of time, but if you sometimes stumble across images or even a PDF that is not readable text, I won't go into detail about that, but if it isn't scanned in with an OCR, so it's not enriched enough for the text reader to pick it up, this can do that. That's screenshot reader. You go ahead and you grab all the text that you want to be able to have turned into readable text. You grab it with the screenshot reader, and then it turns into where it can be read aloud. So that is a nice feature for not just browsing the web, because sometimes you have like pictures on text or text on a picture, and you can use that for that. But also, if you are finding you're frustrated, there's a PDF that's not reading, use the screenshot reader tool, because then it'll turn that into that. The audio maker, one nice feature about this is you have students who might be needing to go on a bus trip. They won't have access to internet. They can go ahead and grab a whole page or document, whatever, and turn it into an MP3 and have it downloaded, so they won't have to have internet access, and they can listen to that on their bus trip or car trip that they're going on, something to where they wouldn't have to have internet access for it if it's downloaded. And then some students don't like to look at the text while it's being read to them either. So that's an option. This web, I used to not be as intrigued by this web tool, but what it is it helps you narrow down a search. You can put some, you can highlight a word and you want to narrow. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. I got to move. I got to figure out this move in my toolbar. Can't get it to move. Oh, there we go. My arrows. Sorry, this wasn't popping up earlier. Okay. Nope, I'm going to move it way down. Okay. But if I wanted to do a web search on mammals, I type that in, do whatever, and it's going to take and narrow things down for me and kind of bring up the Wikipedia sites. It's going to kind of help me search the internet and find some good sites to where I could get some good information from. So that's a nice feature. Let's see here. Okay, this is one of probably my favorites that I even started using, especially since I can't print things. I do a lot of like researching articles, and I like to print them so I can highlight. But since we haven't had access to printer and I've been printing it too much at home, I've been using this screenshot or the screen mask tool. And so once you click that, it's going to kind of help track for our visual students who might have visual difficulties. I want to show you some, if you go into the settings or the three little dots, but if you go into the settings, the screen masking settings, the background color can be changed, blue, you know, whatever. This, I do suggest to maybe talk to, if it's for a student with visual difficulties or deficits, talk to, if they see vision therapists, talk to them to help you make that decision. But I like to make my reading height line kind of small, but you can also make it large. It's a nice feature. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm going to cancel out of that. Okay. Talk and type. This would be if we would go back into a document, and I was going to demonstrate this, but I think I'll kind of leave that out since we started kind of late. But you would be able to type and talk things at the same time when you're going. So, I mean, their microphone might end up picking up, it's sensitive. So they're going to have to get used to that and find a good balance. But this is for students who need some of that speech to text, and then they can continue type. You can have prediction on with it. So you can see lots of possibilities for that as well. Getting down to the end here, guys. Okay, highlighting features. This is going to be, is supposed to be available on the iPad soon. It is available on all other platforms. So if you're going to highlight, I like to just do single words, but I also like to give the example as a teacher. If you send a PDF of a passage, or you have them look up something online, you can say, hey, I want the main sentence highlighted in yellow, each supporting sentence highlighted in green, or 3 supporting sentences in green, conclusion in purple, whatever you want to do. But you go through and you have them do that, then they can generate a document with that. I'm picking single words because I want to show you how it works for the vocab tool as well. But say they went through and did that, and then they just hit this little collect highlights. And you'll notice when you hover by the tool sign, it tells you what it is as well. So I'm generating a document. Oh, let's see, Hannah, I guess I'll use this one, maybe. I hope, Hannah, am I using the right one?
What?
It said to access your documents. Do Google Docs? Probably not.
Much, a little bit.
View your Google Drive apps.
Yeah, you can allow if you want to.
Where's
you
it
can
at?
probably have to scroll down.
Okay, sorry.
Oops.
Oops.
In the other one.
Sorry, where did it go? It went away. Okay, let's do this. Collect. And let's go here. Sorry, thank you for being very patient about this today. Oh, did it go down? No.
What's the score?
Ah, there it is. It's trying to get us to,
Okay,
okay,
scroll down.
move this around. And here we go. Oh, allow. Okay, now it's should hope. Okay, there it is. It's generating a Google Doc for us. Okay. Okay, so this would also generate a PDF in Microsoft Office, okay? But you can see how it's going to give you the highlighting, and it's going to see, it's like you gave them an assignment and it's sending it right to you. And you want them to highlight details. Lots of possibilities for this as well. And then one other feature I want to show you with that, since I had the words highlighted, is the vocab tool. This is probably one of my favorites. Highlight, you hit that, it's collecting the document as well. It's going to pop up. Again, this works across platforms. I am willing to come meet with you and go over this too if you feel like this is a lot, okay? But this, you can see how this generated a document with the word, gives you the definition, gives you symbols, and then it even gives us part for over here. I like to say, hey, just change this to like, hey, make your own definition instead of notes, or, you can assign things like this. You as a teacher can create your vocabulary using this. Since you all have this, like use it to create vocabulary study supports. So then while we're in here, I do want to show, this has a voice note. So I just talked with this morning high school teacher, and we talked about how this would be even beneficial for students who don't like to ask questions in person. They could go ahead and record their question and insert it. So they would ask the question, and then you could see that would insert into that document saying, I don't understand this vocabulary term, or I would like you to explain this to me more. And then the practice reading. So this is, if you practice, we take this to a different site, it's going to bring up whatever passage it was. Of course, it's not on here, doesn't have anything selected, but it would say, hit the microphone, practice reading, share it to your teacher. So it is really nice. What I like to say, what I see this using for is if you give a kid maybe a passage that's right at a level you're pushing them to, say, hey, go ahead and listen to it twice, then record reading it, then record yourself reading it and send it to me. And you can listen to it later to see how fluent they were, or they can use it as a self-feedback tool, listen to their own fluency. So lots of options. The very last tool I'm going to show you guys is the Simplify one. So it's Simplify Page. And basically this helps your kids who get just overwhelmed when they're searching the web. They get to a page they really need to focus on. They need to take away those pictures, that extra stuff that's on there. This is going to take all of that away. Okay, and it's just going to give you the text. So this was sorry for the tech issues, guys, but and it was a very quick way to go over it. I am happy to meet with any of you. I'll get up to my top slide so you'd have my email, and I will have Kyle send this all out. But what questions does anybody have? If any.
Any other thoughts? Were there pieces of this that you felt would be useful for some of your students?
All of my students need to use this.
Mm-hmm.
How do they get it on there? It's already on there?
So Dawn, what devices do your students use?
Oh,
You're on mute. Sorry.
I think they have Dell laptops.
Okay.
They have whatever the high school has.
Okay. So what we did with this, because it was kind of just figuring out the tech pieces of this. It wasn't pushed out to all students. As I'm getting lists of students, I send in a tech ticket and I request IT to then send it out. And then I am willing to come and help you set that up, and even like do a demonstration day with the, little time with the kids. But at this point, I'm sending in the tech tickets and they're saying, we're going to put this on hold because they're trying to get everything fixed that needs fixed on the laptops. But I don't know what the timeline looks like for that.
But is it an extension? Is that what this is considered?
It is an extension, yes.
Okay.
But it is not a free, it's free for 30 days, but it's not. So don't do the free version for your students for 30 days because we have the full version. We just need to be able to get it out. As a teacher, you should have it though, Dawn. If you want to, your name was on the list of special education teachers, I believe that it got pushed out to. So again, we can do something where I stop by and show you some things, or if you feel, good about going on, and it should be on where it was for Jolene, because mine was not pushed out that way. Hers was pushed out where she had an icon like on her main page. So, and it looked like the little puzzle piece. Okay. So
I'll look for it. I used to teach kids how to use something very similar to this. So I know I don't need your help. I just need to know where to find it.
Perfect. And then when you authenticate it though, when you go in and you open up your Microsoft Office, since you have Dell's from Hayes, authenticate it as a Microsoft so that your kids can use it with the PDFs and stuff, since that's the kind of technology that we have, our IT supports.
Any other questions or thoughts at this point?
Thank you. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And just as a reminder, and as you're talking with other people, this is available. We have it available for every device, for every student in all 4 districts. And so whether it's a general education student or a special ed student, they're on a GEI plan or just wanted, or the teacher just wants to make it available for every kid in their class, it's available for that. So.
Yeah. And on iPad specific, you know, those little tutorials are really like 3 or 4 minutes that show you how to do reading supports with it and how to do writing supports with it. So it's not a lot, but again, I am willing to come out. One idea I got from an article I read last night, and then I met with a high school teacher today. This could be something that you guys can think about. And if you guys want to contact me for help, I don't mind it. But what we're going to do is have it, the 3 or 4 students that have it available already currently on her caseload, she's going to have them use it. And then we're going to do, the guy called it a gallery walk, where then you have teachers. So those kids are set up in the library, you know, at each of their own table. And we're going to start small with their, I think they're English teachers, and is kind of our plan. And then the teachers will walk around and the students can explain what they like about the tools and how they're using it. And I see that being even more valuable than me just explaining it to teachers, because these kids will figure it out if we just put it in their hands.
Very good. Thank you, Andrea, for your flexibility with everything. I understand the frustration when tech isn't working and you're the presenter, like that puts a lot of stress on you, I'm sure, but you handled it very well. Thank you. And thanks for sharing all your expertise with this. So
yeah.
And make sure to thank
everyone.
Hannah for letting
I know, I had to thank Hannah because she like kept me, she's like, it's right here. Sometimes when you're a little bit like, oh, how do I make this work? So
I owe her a Sonic card then. So
yeah, she is a gem. I do not know how, she cannot leave. We have to work together, Kyle. You're not taking us apart.
Very good. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. If there's no other questions, we can go ahead and end now. I will compile the video and share it out along with all the materials that Andrea said she would share, and make sure that's out for you guys, but also for everybody else. Those of you that are in 480